Acha, we'll solve the problems first, then we'll start with Java. Uh, we'll start with object and class. Okay. Acha, this you have both done. There is no problem in this. This is quite easy. Even or odd, normal program. Basic thing is if uh, in the condition loop, not condition, in the first bracket you have to write a mod 2 equals to 0. If it is the case, then even number or you have odd number, right? আচ্ছা এটা তোরা দুজনেই করেছিলিস find the largest among three numbers using if else if, right? Ah, yep. I'm watching your solution. Good job, Odrich. Odrich wrote all of the programs in a copy. Yep, I did, but there was some issue with his computer. But still, he gave this with his in his copy. There is no error in this. I think one another way you can do this is let's say you have this question, right? Write a program to find the largest among three numbers. So both of you have taken this as an input, right? So there is int a. Let's say let me take a uh, int a. Let's say 5. Int b 9. Int c 19. Another way you can like uh, do the same problem is by using another variable, that is, let's say you have max, right? This is basically integer dot mean value. So there is a, you know about this, right? So this is the mm, minimum value possible inside an int, right? So let's say if we try to print this, let's say what is the number, right? So this is the minimum value that can be stored inside a int variable. Got it? Right? So we are checking with it because we know for sure. Hello, can you hear me? Hello. Yeah, right. As I was saying, so this is the minimum value that can be possible in inside int variable. So we are checking with it. Obviously, no user will be giving this number, right? Even if they give, we know for sure that this cannot be this is the minimum value that can be possible here, right? Inside an int variable. Otherwise, it will throw an error. So okay, what we can do is like we'll check that if a greater than b, if this is the case, then max equals to a, right? Did you get this? What are we doing? We're checking first that if a greater than b, if a is greater than b, then store it into max. Is it correct? Okay, another way, I have told you to like do it with if else, right? You can also do this like if b, or else you can do this like else, you know for sure that max equals to b, right? This will be the thing. So we are checking first that whether a is greater or b is greater. So whatever the greater one is, we'll store it inside the max variable. That is done. Now we'll also have to check with c, right? So we'll do that. So let's say let's do it like this is one if else. This is just for checking, the greater element between two variables, right? Now now you wait a minute. Now you check with now you check that whether max, whatever the variable max is, whatever the particular value of this is there, you have to check with c, right? You have to check like that max greater than c. If this is the case, you store c inside the max, else you don't store. You know for sure that whatever the max value is, it is always greater than c, right? So let's just print max and see whether we have done it right or not. You have done it wrong, because try to guess but where we did wrong. কোথায় ভুল করেছি চেক করার চেষ্টা কর। তাই হুম check. What is wrong with the code? There is if after else. Try to compile it, try to dry run it. So first of all, we are checking with 5 greater than 9, right? There is 5, so it is wrong. So max will store 9, right? And then you are checking that is 9 greater than c. So is 9 greater yeah, what should we do then? We are checking here that if max greater than c or not. So max, what is max here? Max is storing 9, right? Yeah. And c, yeah. So what, so what should be the so so what should be the condition here? If c greater than equals to max. Yeah, that is what I'm talking about, dude. Answer 19. Mean value, that is already I've just told you that this is the minimum value that can be stored inside an integer variable. This is the minimum value that can be stored inside an integer variable. So whenever we check whenever yeah, right. So what we are trying to do here is like we are uh, like storing the minimum value inside the max variable. So whenever we compare with any kind of variable after this, we know for sure that any value greater than this will store inside max. Got it? So here let's say we are checking it with c greater than max, right? So let's say there is 0. Let's say that there is 0 and 0, and if we initialize this as 0 only, right, max will also be 0, right? And if there is any minus number, then uh, let's say there is 83, what should be stored inside the max variable? Tell me this. If we print it here by commenting out this part, what should be the output of this particular thing? Minus 74, right? Why is so? Like, but this is right. This is there is no problem here, right? If you are checking with a and b, and that is okay. Now what about this? What should be the answer here? 19, because we have just let's say we initialize to minus 93. Mm. Okay, just yeah. So, did you understand this part? What is this what is this doing? Why you have just wrote this as if uh, Aldrich wrote this as if A greater than B and A greater than C in a same statement, right? And I think you also wrote the same thing. This is just another way of writing the same code, right? Uh, also 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 try to use integer dot mean value in here. Okay, this is the minimum value that can be stored inside max, right? So whenever you check something with max, it will always guarantee that any value that is there inside any variable here, that will always be greater than integer dot mean value, because no user will store such a small number inside a simple max variable. Are you clear? Am I clear with this? Right. So this answer is like okay. This is fine. Yeah, it is in class. It is in class, and mean value we can also see this. Okay, someone joined, right? I think Shomudev. Yeah. So we can see it here. So there is yeah, it's totally okay. So there is a class public final class integer, right? This is the integer class, and whenever we have mean value, you can see that this is a public static final mean value, and this is the address. Got it? Did you got it? Yeah. Let's just I'm not sure about it, but I think it is not. Let's just check it. Java uses Unicode address, right? Yeah. Let's just search it in ChatGPT. Okay. Yeah, it is just hexadecimal form of 2147483648. It's just hexadecimal way of writing. Did you know about binary 010000? Yeah, that is this is just hexadecimal way of storing this number. Okay, they could yeah, this is just the representation. This is just the representation. If you just search hexadecimal here, you'll just get to know about it. See, this is the number that is this is how they represent all of the numbers, right? I think yes. See, here it is written XMS decimal of 24, but since int is signed, it actually represents 21 into 2's complement form. Got it? Yeah. Okay. Uh, okay, we're clear with this one, right? Yeah. So we're clear with this one. We'll try to do the another problem here. Uh, this you have done. Both of you have done this right. Okay. I've checked it. These are the normal problems that you have done all right. This you have done. This you have done right. Both of you. Okay. Calculator also I've checked. I think. Um. Wait a minute. Some of them didn't do it right. Try to complete it and submit it afterwards. Yeah. Yeah, you guys have done it right. There is no problem in there. Uh, yeah. Mm, yeah, I've checked it. Calculator is okay too. Also, the factorial is quite easy. Tata used while loop for it, right? Yeah, yeah. I'm just asking you that whether you have used while loop or not. Yeah, yeah. What about Somaditto? I am sorry, Adrich. Yeah. Let me. What is the number of this question? Yeah. Good. Also, this one was easy using a loop. Yeah, I showed you earlier this. I showed you. Yeah. Okay. What about this? What is the number of this question? I am not able to understand. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, right. We have to create a class student with name, age, and roll number. Take input and print details. Right. And this you have done. What is the number of this question? Like question number. Right. Let me see it first. Name, age, and roll number. Yeah, it is pretty easy. Okay. So, Aldrich, yeah, Aldrich did it in simple way. You shouldn't do like this. You should use a class student, like a user defined class for this, right? Yeah, let me. We'll talk about it. Okay. What about what about what about you? Did you do it with user defined class? Okay, send me the last three again. Tatai. Last three questions again. Send me the last three questions. Not the questions, but your solution. Send me on WhatsApp. The last three questions. Yeah, the last three questions like this three. Yeah. Give me the solutions. I mean, send me on WhatsApp. Also, Somadipto, watch some questions. If you don't think that you will be able to do it, I will make you understand that particular question. Yeah. Just go through all the questions and try to understand all of them. Try to think how can you derive a solution from that. I'll be able. I'll let you know. Like, let me know if you are able to do it. Otherwise, I will just solve that particular problem because I'm just wanting to start object and object and class today. We have discussed about it a little bit, but we'll be trying to go deep into it. Also, we don't have much time today. I'll also take day 5 tomorrow. Okay. So this is just a basic class. We'll be just extending this class uh, like 30 minutes or 40 minutes more. After that, we'll just do it. We'll just continue this class or just name it day 4, day 5, uh, whatever it is. So we'll do it tomorrow. Yeah, because I have some work today, and actually, my mind is occupied with something else, so I'm not able to focus here. So we'll be doing that. We'll be doing this whole Java object thing. Will take 30-40 minutes. Got it? And we'll try to complete it. Okay, let me see whatever you have said. Yeah, we'll talk about it. Yeah, we'll do it at 3 only. If you guys have no problem there, we'll start at sharp 3. Answer will come. So what we can do is like when will we end the class? Just forget about it. So starting from 4 will be okay for you? Yeah, then we'll start from 4. I think there is no problem there. Okay, Tatai did it right. I think Tatai used another class. So we'll try to understand what user defined class is today. Alright. Yeah, Tatai did it right. So let's just talk about it then. What are the 3 questions? Alright, so these are the 3 things that you need to do, right? So there is a class. Also, you have to define a class calculator that should contain all of the methods, right? Yeah, Tatai actually did it right. Tatai actually did it how we actually do it. Okay, so I'll talk about it. Which one program do you want me to do? I will talk about one program and the other 2 programs. These 3 programs you have to do, right? I'll only talk about one program. Let's just make the calculator. Yeah, calculator one. This one is the best. Okay, so let's just make day for part 2. Okay, day for part 2 dot java. Oh my god, something happened. Okay, day for part 2 dot java. Oh, we don't have to write a java. Oh my god. All right. Uh, yeah. Let's just static. I'm using so many IDs. I find it so difficult to like. Uh, I'm just forgetting all of the things. Okay. So we'll have to make a calculator class first. I hope everyone knows the syntax of defining a class. So we can name it calculator, right? And we have to also like define variables for it. What Tatai did was Tatai defined 2 variables. One is A and one is B. Okay. We'll do the same thing. These things are called like these variables inside a class are called instance variables. I know. I think I have already discussed about this. Yeah. Yes. So this is one way of declaring variables. You have to declare variables inside a particular class. But one way of initialization is defining constructors. So let's just talk about constructors first. Okay. Let's talk about constructors. What is constructors? A constructor in Java is a block of code like the also Shomo, do you know about class object? I think you are like favorable with class and object thing. Yeah. So yeah, we'll just start. I'm just wanting you guys to know, like, I'm expecting that you already know that how to define a normal class, like normal user defined class, define variables, and make the object here, like create the object here. How can you create the object? You can, yeah, let me tell him. So calculator cal and new calculator. This is how you create an object, right, Shramaditya? Yeah. And what is the object here? This is a cal object, right? The object here is cal, and you, this is the constructor here. This is how you call the constructor. This is constructor. Are you clear? Are we clear? I'm talking to all of you. This is the constructor here. This is you. This is just us calling the constructor. Yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah. Can you? Yeah. Yeah. I'll talk about it. I'm just trying to tell you that only. So can you see my screen first? Yeah. Let me let me go into this. So what is a constructor? First we have to know about it. A constructor in Java is a block of code like the method. It is called when an instance of the class is created. At the time of calling constructor, memory for the object is allocated in the memory. It is a special type of method which is used to initialize the object. So I think we are favorable with method 2. I have talked about method. Are we clear with method? Respond everyone. What are methods? Do you know about it? Did I talk about methods in detail? If not, we'll talk about it. Okay, okay. Let's just go with method then. So how many types of methods are there? We'll talk about it first. Okay, where is there? Yeah, there are multiple types of methods. Okay, what is a method in Java? So for example, what is a class and an object? I'll just talk about it in a simple way. So I gave the same example in the previous day. So let's say we have a class like animals, right? Also you can, on in a single program, you can define thousands and multiples, thousands and lakhs of classes. Okay, you don't have to fear anything. It is just fine. You don't get any error in defining multiple classes inside inside the same program. Okay, so let's say we have class animal. What are the property of animal? Animal, every animal has a heart, right? So uh, let's just define eyes. Every animal has eyes. Like uh, the number of eyes are different, but most of the animals has two eyes or three and more than that, right? Like spider has how many eyes? Spider have more than 5 6, right? So it is same with legs, it is same with hands, and there can be multiple things. What is this animal, right? This is a class. What does class mean? Class is the prototype, basic structure. Class gives you the basic structure. So this is the basic structure, but this doesn't make sense. What I'm going to do with animal eyes, legs, hands? We need a part of it. We need to define something. What do we need to define? We need to basically try to make some meaning out of this class. How can you do it? By creating an object. An object is something that gives meaning to the class. Okay, without object you don't have anything. Let's just say we just declare an animal here. Let's just give a name of an object. We'll try to give a name and yeah, yeah. Let's say we give the name as cat, right? And we'll make animal, and this is a constructor that we called. I will go about. I'll discuss what is constructor, but this is new animal, right? This is how we create an object. Now cat does have some meaning in it, right? When you talk about a cat, you know, you have structure in your mind, that what is cat, how does a cat move, what is its structure, how it how does it look, and all of the structures, all of the physical structures, right? So you can define it. Cat eyes, how many eyes does a cat have? 2. What about legs? 4. What about hands? Nothing, right? Nothing. Also, if we uh, define this, if we define this by default, after like creating an object, right? Creation of an object, right? What is the object here? Cat. Got it? Cat. This is how you create an object, and this is stored inside cat. I've already talked to you about animal. What is animal? This is an data type. What data type? User defined data type. Got it? So like how you define int a equals to 5, this is the same syntax. Int is what? Data type. Animal is same. Animal is same. Animal is data type. A is a variable. Cat is a variable. 5. This is some value that is stored inside this variable. This is some value that is an object here, and that object is stored inside this reference called cat. And now that cat is called an object. Got it? Are you clear? Are we clear? Yes. So as soon as we define this, as soon as we create the object, at the time of the creation of the object, these 3 variables are declared, right? Declaration happens. Yeah. Ask question. Like that I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. So like you have an animal class, right? Animal by itself doesn't make any sense. What are you gonna do with animals? But particularly if you talk about a cat, cat has the same thing, right? cat Cat has some eyes, cat has some legs, cat has some hands, and you just defined it. Let's say you have dog, right? You have dog, and dog has eyes, dog has legs, and dog has hands. 0. Did I do it right? Now the actual advantage of class and object is we don't have to we don't have to declare the same variables every time. We have just declared one like 3 variables at the first. We have just created a class, and we are telling that any animal inside it, any animal inside it will have these 3 things: eyes, legs, and hands. If not hands, but you can mention 0 here. But eyes and legs are common, so this will all. So let's just remove hands. Let's just say eyes and legs are there. So we'll just delete it. Got it? So we don't have to specify every time that okay, we need int eyes, we want int legs. So if you write the same thing, how can we write? So you will just do it like int dog eye. Let's say we want to do it for cat. Okay, we'll have to write int cat eyes equals to 2, int cat legs equals to 2, sorry, 4. And you have to do it same. You have to declare this variable. We'll have to declare the same variable every time. So we'll have to do it like dog, and we have to do it like dog. So these are 4 variables, and you have declared 4 uh, int variables, and that are new types with new names. And you don't know, basically there are multiple names. You don't know what name you have given to what variable. When there will be thousands of lines of codes, you won't be able to guess what name you have given every time. So better will be to put it into a class and then define objects like this. So this is a bad way of doing it. This is not a good way of doing it. This is just a bad way of doing it. Bad way of doing it. Yeah. Are we clear with it, Ramaditya? Did you understand what is the use of class and object? there are many usage, but the basic functionality is this. The basic function of a object and class is this. Just removing redundant code. Same code we don't have to write multiple times. The same structure of the code, you just put it inside the animal class, and you use objects of this. Got it? Am I clear with this? Yeah, we'll just talk about methods then. Okay. Why methods? What is the work of a method? So we have specified some variables. Now, what are some work that animals do? Some work. Tatai? Yeah. What are the behaviors? Talk to me about the behavior. They can first of all they have to breathe, right? So breathe method. Now, can we like yeah, we can actually. We can define a variable breathe and we can yeah, we can do that. But the better way of doing it will be to just specifying a method and just print that whether the animal is breathing or not. I think that will be more uh, good of writing the code. Okay. So what we can do is like we can do like public void breathe, right? And we can be like system.out the animal is breathing. Can we do that? We can, right? Also, you can just specify here that int, sorry, string name. So every animal has some name, right? We can be like cat name equals to cat. Just name a cat. Just you can also name it's. We can just give cat. You can also name here anything you want, but we'll just for simpler purpose we can just name it whatever the name we have already given. So dog name and dog, right? And we can be like the so we can be like here will name plus is breathing. So whenever we call breathe, what will be the output? What the output will be? Cat is breathing, dog is breathing. Are we clear with this? Yeah, that is the same thing that is happening every time. Now every animal will breathe, right? Now if we have to write the same sentence for every particular every other animal, that will be a lot of code, right? This is just easier way of writing code. You know that every animal, you just group it together. You just group common fun. So what is class? Class is basically a group of things, a group of particular things that have some common functionalities. You group it so that you don't have to write much code. Did you understand? Did you understand this? So we can, yeah, breathe. let's just yeah let's just also let's just also talk about static. So you know for sure. So for example, eyes, legs can be different, right? Eyes and legs can be different for every animal. What about some special things that is same for all of the animals? Every animals will breathe. Is that right? So we can write a boolean variable, boolean breathe, right, equals to true. We can write this, but 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 every time we define an object, there will be new breath that is created. Am I clear with this? I have talked about it. If you just see the last video that we have posted in my channel, there we have talked about static and public variable, static and normal variables, instance variables, right? Day two, right? Yeah. So just go through the day two video. I have just talked about it and in much detail, right? So what is boolean breathe? This will just create one copy in it, one copy in this animal variable animal class, and all the other objects that will be created will share it. So for every other variables, these variables of animal will be different from this animal, right? So cat's name, eyes, legs are different from cats, and dogs' names, eyes, and legs. But breathe is every animal will breathe, right? How the dog is breathing and how the cat is breathing isn't much different. We cannot differentiate between a cat and a dog, how they're breathing, right? Every animal you see breathes. That is a normal thing. So we have just created this boolean breathe. We can just make it a static variable. So static will let this be one variable that will be defined at the runtime, and just uh, all the other objects that will be created won't create another copy of this variable, right? They will not create another variable with name that has some name called breathe, but they'll also, yeah, they'll obviously create these three variables, but not this will be shared by them. Got it? Yeah, actually I yeah, so I have talked about in day 2, as that I said. So there I actually I went into very detail how I did it. Okay, so for Shobodipto I am talking about it. So do a thing after this class, try to watch it. You'll understand every part of it. That is important, and it is it is a little bit interesting also how all of the things work. So uh, let's just have another function, sorry, method. He's eating, right? You can you can write multiple things here. It doesn't matter here. But what I'm trying to understand, make you understand is this: that you don't have to write this every time. You can just be like, okay, eat, and the cat will eat. You can be like, okay, eat, and the dog will eat. You don't have to write a special function, a special particular thing about it. You don't have to write this again and again. If we try to do it normally, like the bad way of doing it, if we try to do it in the bad way of doing it, then you have to write every time this particular thing, this particular thing, or this particular thing, right? Isn't it? Yeah. So we are just making it smaller. We are just reusing parts of the program every time, so that we don't have to write the same code twice. I've already talked about the dry principle. What is the dry principle? Tataya and Audrey were there in that day. I talked about the dry principle. What is the dry principle? Yeah. No, I've talked about it. So there is this dry principle. What is dry principle? DRI. What is this? Yeah. So the dry principle is basically do not repeat yourself. Dry. I've told you about it. So do not repeat yourself. That one part of code, if you have written and you think that this particular code I have to write multiple times, you just put it inside a method. Am I clear with this? Am I clear with this? You have some code in your program, and you are particularly writing that code every time, like 2 3 times. Even if you are writing that code 2 times, you have to take it, put it inside a method, and then call the method. That is the dry principle. Got it? Try to follow it. That is how you actually write programs. Okay. So how, try to think that how clear this code is. I have just divided every part, uh, also made some spacing, that for that I can understand what every particular thing is doing. I have written some comments and trying to do it much cleaner way than you guys do it, right? You guys already always uh, write the code in the same line, in the same class, and try to like don't give enough spaces in between. Don't, yeah, you write hard codes and also don't give enough space, no comments in the code. That is much uh, tougher way to write programs, and also you are making it difficult for other person to read your code. If you make it like this, the user can jump into your program, or any person can jump into your program and be like, okay, this is an animal class, this is a breathe function, eat method, this is work method. Okay, they have created an object. uh, just the comment will let them see, okay, what they have done inside this, right? Try to write programs in this way. You guys also have to understand it later words, right? Afterwards, when you are revisiting any program, you guys have to understand it well, right? So for you also and for other people's sakes, please write comments and also give spaces in between so that people can understand. Got it? Okay, so I've talked about the do not repeat principle. Do not repeat yourself. I think I'm clear with this. So method is another way, the method is by which you follow the do not repeat yourself thing, right? So methods provide code reusability. I've talked about this. What is reusability? You know that there are some multiple lines of code, same line of code, and that is what you are using every time. So every time you are using that particular code, you are just writing the same thing again and again. You don't have to do that. You can just put that particular line of code inside a method, inside a method, and then call that method, right? So this is a method declaration. This is how you declare a method, and this is how you call a method. Cat dot breathe, first bracket open, first bracket close, right? Okay. Once a method is defined, it can be called multiple times from various part of the program. That is what I am talking about. Modularity. What is modularity? Method helps break down complex problems into simple, smaller, manageable pieces. This is also a thing that when you have a very complex problem, right? When you have a very complex problem, one way you can do it like by breaking the uh, big line of code into small manageable pieces and putting them into some method, so that it can be manageable, so you will be able to work on smaller pieces, right? If you have a big problem, you won't be able to deal with the big problem. You should always uh, like break the problem into smaller parts and then solve each and every problem. That will be much easier than solving the whole problem, than trying to solve the whole problem. Got it? Maintainability. With methods, updating and debugging code becomes easier. As we all know, this is just one method that you are calling every time. So if there is any error, there can only be one error from here. Am I clear? So if there is any error, let's say we have written some shitty code here. So this is we have written R, and obviously this is just singular cat. Okay, and cat are breathing. How can we write cat are breathing? It should be cat is breathing, right? So you have written cat are breathing, dog are breathing. It is like uh, wrong in here and wrong in here. You can catch that, okay, I have done something wrong, and you can simply come here and be like, okay, this will be is. But you have if you have written the same thing again and again 50 times, you won't be able to catch it, right? You won't be able to catch it. You, maybe you can, but it would take much time than this, isn't it? So maintainability is important. So like debugging the code, debugging, what is debugging? Like you have an error in your code and you are trying to debug it, like you are trying to solve the problem, right? That is called debugging. So debugging becomes much easier because you have small lines of code, and if you have written some error into it, that will be changed in every part of the program, right? like like we have changed this single R, and cat and dog printed the same thing. Cat are breathing, dog are breathing. So you'll know exactly what was the error there. Got it? Are we clear? Hello? Hello, are we clear? Good. Abstraction. You have all about heard about abstraction, I guess. The four pillars of uh, object oriented programming. Talk about it. Yeah. What is that? Yeah, I've talked about it in the last class, right? I've talked about it in the last class that you have a bank account and you just put all of the things, all of the methods, all of the functionality, like the how to what I've written, I've just forgot, but whatever, what are the things I am quite sure that I've mentioned some methods into it. So methods will basically do some work, right? Method is basically uh, method will basically do some behavior, right? So let's say we have a bank account, and that bank account is uh, you are a user, and you are basically using that bank account to withdraw some balance from your account, right? So there is obviously some lines of code that is written inside that bank account, right? Whenever you are writing, like what is the basic thing that you can understand? There is a bank account. Let's say let's say we have a class UCO bank, right? And let's say you have amount equals to 0, and let's say we mm, do it like void withdraw, and we check first that the amount is not equals to 0, is greater than 0, right? Then only we can withdraw some balance. So let's say we have 500, 599, right? And there should be some value here, so int value, int amount, uh, let's say just amount, same thing, right? We can be like value. Okay, so amount equals to amount minus val, and let's just try to make this, let's just try to create an object of it, right? So in your particular bank account you have 599 rupees, got it? And you are trying to withdraw some balance. How can you withdraw some balance? First we have to mention an account, creating an account of UCO bank public, sorry, UCO bank. Let's say we make an account for Odridge, right? UCO bank, and Odridge has 599 balance in his account. Okay, so Odridge wants to withdraw some balance. How can he withdraw some balance? So Odridge withdraw, this is the method name, and we have to pass some value. See, it is prompting us int value. Like you have to have some value, you have to just like uh, give some value to the bank so that they can uh, give you that much amount of balance into it, right? Into your pocket, right? So you can like, so this is where it is deducted. So after deduction you can just prompt to the user balance success, withdraw successful, let's say withdraw successful, right? And you also have to check that whether the amount is greater than equals to val. Otherwise how can we, the amount will go into minus, right? Did you understand this line of code? Did you understand this line of code, everyone? Try to think. First of all we are checking that that amount whatever you have is greater than 0 or not. Otherwise you just prompt to the user that you don't have money, no balance. You are just prompting to the user that no balance, you don't have any balance, how can you withdraw money from them, right? Another way Here we are checking that if the amount is greater than 0 or not. Here your amount is there, and you are checking here that your amount is greater than 0 or not. Otherwise, it will just prompt you no balance. Here after that you have to also check that if the amount that is there in your 599 rupees, so this is 599, and the value that you want from the bank account is less than equals to amount or not, or greater than equals to amount greater than equals to value or not. If you don't understand this, we can also write it like this. Let's say value less than equals to amount or not. If the value is 600 or like 1000, right? If the value is 1000, now amount is 599, 599 minus 1000, that will be in minus, right? And that is not possible. How can you get 1000 rupees from your bank account when you have 599 rupees? That doesn't make any sense. So we are just checking here that the value should be less than equals to amount. Is it clear, everyone? It is clear, right? So then only you do it and write withdraw successful. Okay. Else we can prompt user that if the value that is greater than equals to amount, then we can just prompt the user not enough balance. See, we have just implemented a single withdraw function of a big bank, right? Okay, you haven't given this withdraw method, so we can give here 200. Also we can display the amount. How can we display the amount? Display the balance, right? Public. Okay, tell me Shomodi, to tell me how can we display a method, like write a method that can display the balance. Try to tell me. Shomodi, hello, can you hear me? Hello. Tatai, can you hear me? What about Shomodipto? Where is he? Okay, okay, leave him. So Adrij, try to. Okay, whatever. So Adrij, try to tell how can we print the balance. How can we define the method first? First of all, what should I write here? Try to tell. Yeah, I know you will be able to tell it, but I want Adrij to tell. If you're not able to tell, then you can also write it here. Write in the meet chat if you want. Adrij, write in the meet chat. And if you have any problem, just ask. Because I'm going too fast. There is multiple things that we need to cover. All right. We'll just go with this. Okay. Tatai, tell. How can we do that? How can we define a method? Just tell me the way of defining method. What should I? Public void display, and what should be there in this? This amount, right? This is the amount, or just normal amount, because we don't have any uh, name variable, right? You can be like this amount, normal amount, right? And that will work. So it can be like, or yeah. So withdraw successful and we have 399 rupees, right? We have we did have 599 first, and then we have deducted 200 rupees and we have displayed the amount, that is 399. Am I clear with this? Yes. So we can be like, we can just uh, format it in a good way. The available balance is, and can be like amount. See, right? This is way good. This is how you do it. Am I right? Okay. Are we clear with this? Like this part here, are you clear? So naming a method. What does naming a method mean? Well, defining okay, so abstraction is basically, I've not talked about it. So abstraction is basically Tata know it, right? So what is abstraction? Abstraction is basically hiding the complex details that user don't have to know. So for example, in this particular thing, in this particular withdraw method, this is complex, right? This part what we have written here is complex, isn't it? This is complex, and the user doesn't know about it. User don't have to know about it. This is bank's problem. The user can write anything. The user can try to uh, withdraw lakhs of money, but whose job is to check whether the user has lack of amount of money inside his bank, inside his or her bank? It is the job of banks, right? It is the job of bank. So so this is basically abstraction. This is basically abstraction. Abstraction is basically hiding this important detail. User will just run this withdraw.200 call. This user will just call this particular thing, and it should work. Yeah, so that is what I'm talking about. See, so that is what I am talking about. That no one will need to know that what is the reason that I am being to able to, that I'm able to withdraw some amount of money from my bank account. That is bank's problem. Bank will handle it, right? So bank's only job is to handle this type of job, this type of particular thing, and we don't have to know about it. And same for any other car or any other thing. So a car's engine is working in some way. There is some complex mechanism in that. We don't have to know about it. Simple thing, right? So while defining method, remember that the method name must be a verb, right? So what is verb? Verb is doing, right? Some kind of work. So yes, action. So doing something, right? So the methods are basically behavioral things, right? So you are some there is some behavior in it. So that behavior is some verb only, right? So we must name it uh, of we must name it like a verb and start with a lowercase letter. Okay. If the method name has more than two words, the first name must be a verb followed by an adjective or noun. So in the multi-word method name, the first letter of each word must be in uppercase except the first word. So this is not a must thing, but you should follow this. All right. This is not a must thing, but you should follow this. For sum, you should write sum. For area, you should write area. For multi-word, you should write area of circle. A string comparison, you can write like this. Okay. So what is method declaration? This is important. Yeah, yeah. So if the area is of a circle, so you have a circle class, let's say, and you are mentioning a area, so you can always be like area of circle, right? So there you can give the name area of circle there. So what is the method declaration look like? First there is a public specifier, or sorry, access specifier. So, yeah. So you can write here public, private, and protected, right? Another type is int, return type. This is the return type, what you are trying to return. So this is by default void, right? So you have to obviously write it. So you cannot keep it empty. You should always write. You must have write it, or otherwise it will throw an error. Yeah, actually. So if you don't return anything, if you just, yeah. So if you don't if you don't return anything, you write void there. Got it? Another way is like another the name of then there is the method name. So this is some, right? And then you have parameter list. So there is int a, int b. Yeah. So let's say we have used this 200 here, right? So that was a parameter here. So int value, we have used int value in this particular case. So that is int value here. Here, right? This is the parameter. This, yeah. This isn't returning. This isn't returning anything, right? This isn't returning anything, right? Yeah. So I'm talking about is this method is not returning anything, right? So that's why we have just kept it void. Can you hear me? Yeah. So this is how you declare a method. No, it is not returning anything. This is just printing the variable. Printing something. Printing something is not equals to returning something. Returning something is different. Okay, so okay, okay, no problem. Uh, we'll just talk about it 5-10 minutes more, and then we'll leave. Okay, I'll I will continue it from tomorrow. Let's just complete the constructor thing. Tell your friends to complete it. Tell your friends to like see it on YouTube. Yeah, yeah. You can draw it laterwards. Don't worry. This is the website. T Point Tech, right? T Point Tech Java. Got it? I'll share the link. Don't worry. Yeah. So this is the method signature. I'll tell you once again. So first there should be a public specifier. If you don't mention it, if you don't mention this public specifier, that is basically empty. So that is basically default. The thing which is there is called default. Okay. So if you don't mention anything, the access specifier is default. Okay, so the word default is another. There are basically three or four types of access specifier. First one is default. When you don't mention anything, that is default access specifier. Then there is private, public, and another one is protected. Are we clear? This is the four access specifier that we have. If you Yeah, exactly. If you don't declare anything, that is by default. Another is return type. You have to always mention return type. Method name is must thing. You have to give a method name. uh, this is how you name the method. Okay, parameter list is basically optional. You can give parameters. If you don't want to give parameters, then that is also okay. You don't have to do anything. Method signature, every method has a method signature. What is method signature? This is the method signature. The inside line of codes, the line of codes inside a method is method signature. Okay, so every method is a method signature. It is a part of the method declaration. It includes the method name and parameter list. Okay, sorry, method signature is basically the whole thing, right? The way how you define the public int sum, this is the whole thing. That is how you define a public sorry, the method signature. Got it? This part is method body. Like from the curly braces, whatever you are defining inside it is the method body. Got it? We have talked about access specifier. Let's just talk about it. Let's just try to understand what all of these things are. public. The method is accessible to all classes when we use the public specifier in our application. By default, that is there is default. Default behaves same like public, but there is some differences. We'll talk about it later. Got it? Yes. 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 And by default, the default specifier which we talked about, that has the same functionality except one or two things. Okay, that we will talk about later when we will be when we'll be talking about or learning about packages. Yeah. Private. What is private? When you use a private specifier, the method is accessible only in the class in which it is defined. That we all know. I think we all know it. What is private? So let's just say. Okay, so let's just say, let's make it private. If you don't make it private, okay, what is the problem in here? Average can be like, let's make the amount this big. Average can do this. Can he do this? Obviously, he can do this. You have made it public. Average can be like, I can be like, I can add multiple amounts of money, and bank will not be able to do anything because you have given Average that public access. So what should be the thing? What should be the access specifier there? That should be private, isn't it? Let's just try to understand, if let's just try to see if it is working. Yeah, see, it is working. Yeah, Average is reach, but we want it to be private, right? We don't want it to be public. We don't want Average or any other people to access this amount and change this variable. Become billionaire without working, and without working, right? Now you see there is an error in here. Let's just try to run. Amount has private access in UCO Bank. Got it? This is the basic thing. That what is happening in here? Try to understand this. But see a very interesting thing. This amount is used in any part of the class. There can be multiple methods that can use this amount without any specification, because even though this is private, there is written here, sorry, there is written here that when we use a private access specifier, the method is accessible only in the classes. So only in this class, only in this whole class, you can use amount anywhere, but outside of this class, you won't be able to use. Only there is no way you can use this particular amount variable in any other class. Why is that? Because it is private. If you just leave it, it is default. And I told you default behaves the same way as public except one or two things. So it is same as public. Okay, so try to just mention the access specifier when you write program. That will help you to understand what is happening here. And many times whenever you give public, right? So when I'm like declaring the same thing, so I'm writing public int amount. Oh, sorry, I've written public. I have to make it private because I don't want any other classes users to use this. Okay, so it will be in your head. Okay, I'm giving public. Do I want this variable to go outside of the class? That will help you to just write the program more minutely. Are we clear? Yeah. So what is protected? When we use protected access specifier, the method is accessible with the same package or subclass in a different package. We'll talk about it later when we do packages. Got it? Yeah. When we do, let's just talk about it. Let's just read about it. When we do not use any access specifier in the method declaration, Java uses the default access specifier by default. It is visible only from the same package. Okay, we'll talk about it when we use package. When we will talk about package. Got it? Yeah. let's just talk about return type. Return type is a data type that the method returns. It may have a primitive data type, object, collection, void, etc. If the method does not return anything, yeah, we'll talk about it. It is a higher concept. We'll talk about it. I will make you learn about collection. That is a very good thing. That is a very good way of storing data. Okay, this is basically dynamic data. Array is static data. When we define an array, we have to mention size. In it, there is a dynamic data structure. So there is an array there where, yeah, there is multiple things there. There is multiple types of things. It is heap. Yep. Okay. So method name, it is heap. Yes. All the elements are stored in the heap in collection. Maximum of the things. Okay. So method name. I talked about it. I have talked about the method name. Parameter list. It is the list of parameters separated by a comma and closed in a pair of parentheses. It contains the data type and a variable name. If the method has no parameter, leave the parentheses blank. I've talked about it. Yeah. Audrich. Yep. 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 Yeah. Just 5 more minutes. 5-10 minutes. Yeah. Do you have any questions in this? So let Audrich speak first. You don't have any problem, right? Yeah. So let's just have this method body. It is a part of the method. Okay. Tate was telling me something. It is the keyword. Yes. We'll just we'll just talk about it. Don't worry. So parameter list you have understood. Method body is method body we have understood. What is method body? This all the lines of code that you write inside a method, that is the method body. So this is method body. This part is method body. It is a keyword. It is basically used to return this sum. So I'll talk about it. How can we do this? So let's just say, not really. No, actually no. How can we how can we make sure what is happening? So let's just say, did you understand this part? Did you understand the withdraw function? Yeah. So this is void, right? So by default, when we write void, at last there is this that is happening, return and nothing. This is by default, which is written inside the code, but you don't have to specify this. Got it? Because you are returning nothing. Void is nothing, so you are returning nothing. That is what is happening here. But if we write int here and if we try to run the program, then there will be an error. What is the error? Let's try to see. Missing return value, make withdraw return void. There is some error. Why? Because you are not returning something int. By default the Java returns nothing, void. By default the Java returns nothing, not null. It is just normal return statement with this. This is the normal return statement that is Java returning. Got it? But we don't want this. We want to specifically return some integer value. We can be like return amount. Amount is int, right? Amount is int, right? So what we can do is like, after we are withdrawing this, this particular statement will return this particular thing. This withdraw particular thing will return amount. This will return amount to whom? Return amount to the call. This is the call, right? This is the method calling. So the method calling will contain that particular amount. Now you want to store it into some variable. Let's just create an amount variable here. So this amount variable will contain this amount that is returned from this class to this class. And now you want to just print it. Let's just try to print it and try to see that whether it will work or not. 399. It is working fine. Did you understand? Tatai, do you have any questions? Is it clear? Returning even now you can also do like, you can also do this like, so you know for sure that this particular thing will return something that is int, right? You can wrap it inside a print statement, and that will basically print 399 again. You don't have to put it inside a variable and then print again. You can just directly write system.out.print, because you know for sure that the after this statement is compiled and run, this will give you some integer value, the amount basically, right? What if we write boolean here? What do you have to write here? Try to say, Adrij and Tatai. Yeah, return true or false, exactly. So where should we return true, where should we return false? We want to specify that whether if the withdraw is successful, return true, or else return false. How can we make sure? Tell me by the line numbers and tell me where we can give return true, return false. Yeah, in the conditions. Return true after line number 19, right? Line 19 is this. So after this, within 20, so you're telling me here, here, return true, but you don't have any balance, right? Return false. Right, number 17, we have to return true. Chaudhary is right. Return true. And what about this? Yeah, so we can write for any other case. For any other case, we can return false here, right? For any other case, if we cannot withdraw and if we cannot not have enough balance, for only this statement we can return false here. Got it? So we can just say withdraw successful and true. Got it? This is the return types thing. This is the return type things. What is happening in here? This is a simple program, nothing too complicated in it. What is happening in here? There is a method add function, takes two variable, one variable, two variable, and add those two variable inside sum and then return sum. Got it? So how would this method call look like? Try to tell me the method call. How would no object dot add, then inside the first bracket you have to write the two numbers, right? Numbers or any variables that you have already declared. You cannot send declared variables inside that. Yeah, you can pass input taken variables or pass two numbers. Yeah. Yeah. Is it clear, Adrij? Is this clear? Yeah, that this is quite simple, I guess. Okay, predefined method. What is predefined method? The method that are already defined in Java class libraries and known as predefined methods. Okay, so you have heard about string length, string equals, string compared to, you haven't heard about all of these things, I think, but you have heard about math.sqrt, math.pow. These are predefined methods. So in the program who made this Java language, right, he made this particular program methods, right? And you are just using that predefined methods, you don't have to write them. So you are, when you are writing math.pow, you don't actually write the functionality of math.pow, right? You don't actually write the method body, you just call it and use it. So that is predefined method, that already made methods. It is basically abstracted, right? You don't have to know how it is working, but you are using it. Yep. So see, 2 is 2 raised to the power of 5 is math.pow 2 comma 5. And do you know how, what is this method type? Can you tell me what is this method type pow? Is it static method or you? Yeah, it is static method or a normal method, right? Why? Because this is not an object, this is the class name. I have talked about static and public in day 2, I guess. Yep. So like you are like yes, like you define the public and like you, yes, like you define static static variables, you can also define static methods. It is the same thing. Got it? It is the same thing. So remember we had that breathing thing, breathing method. We can just make it static. Where is it? We'll make it static. 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 We made it. So now we can be like animal dot breathe, right? Animal dot breathe. Because we know for sure that every animal is breathing and every animal breathes the same thing, that is oxygen. What is user defined method? The method written by the user or program is known as an user defined method. This method can be modified or customized according to the requirements. How to call or invoke a user defined method in Java, calling or invoking a method depends on whether the method is static or not static. Just what I have talked about it. Static void display, employee dot display. This is how you call a static method. Okay, this is how you call a normal method, right? I think we are done for today. I will upload the video. We'll start from constructors tomorrow. Got it? Yeah, we'll start from constructors tomorrow and we'll try to complete it much faster than today. Got it? We'll try to complete until we'll try to complete all of the things here because we have to complete it very quickly. Try to attend tomorrow's class because I'll be doing much of the things tomorrow by tomorrow itself. Okay. No, I don't think I should give you some assignments. Try to do the previous ones because except Tatai and you, Shomo hasn't done the thing. Also, you have not done the 3 programs by using user defined class. I think for now we are good. Yeah, try to do it. Or if you have any problem, just message me. I will help you. Let's meet. Let's meet tomorrow. Let's continue from tomorrow. Just from time 4 p.m. All right. Yeah, I'll leave. Bye bye.